All right. Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome to the Safe Steps DTech Awards 2025 virtual launch. I'm Francesca Gico, project lead at E27, and I'm happy to be your host for today. Just to share a bit more about E27, we are one of the strategic partners for the Safe Steps DTech initiative, and we are Asia's premier tech media platform with a strong mandate to give all entrepreneurs a winning chance to succeed, providing them with the relevant tools and resources to build and scale their companies in Asia's tech ecosystem. E27 provides a go to platform for connections, insights, funding, and many more. Basically, everything you need to build a billion-dollar company. Before we begin, just a couple quick housekeeping notes. This session is being recorded, and we will be sharing this with all of the attendees after the event. And of course, we also want to hear from everyone here today, so feel free to drop your questions in the chat box at any time, and we'll be addressing these during our Q&A session. You also have the option to raise your hand later during our Q&A session to ask any questions that you may have. If you are facing any technical difficulties, our team at E27 is on standby to assist you. Just drop us a message here on Zoom or email my colleague Levine at levine@e27.co. The DTech Awards would not be possible without our strategic partners who have been instrumental in shaping this program. Safe Steps DTech was created by Prudence Foundation, supported by United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction, E27, Amazon Web Services, and the International Federation of Red Cross. The DTech Awards is now on its fourth edition, and our mission is to catalyze a network of support, raise awareness of disaster resilience, and help remarkable companies like yourselves grow and scale. The virtual launch event has brought together startups, corporates, nonprofits, professionals, and entrepreneurs, all united by a shared vision, using technology to protect and save lives before, during, and after disasters. So for those who are new here to the Safe Steps DTech Awards, it was created out of the belief that technological innovation has a significant role to play in improving disaster preparedness, recovery, and resilience. With increasing threats of climate change resulting in more intense and frequent disasters across the world, the need to generate awareness, build resilience, and support solutions that mitigate or respond to disasters has never been greater. This need is especially magnified in Asia Pacific, where half of the world's natural disaster events occur. In addition to the impact on human lives, countries in this region are left to bear the staggering economic costs of disasters. Despite this significant need, there is still a lack of financial and non financial support to help viable solutions reach scale and maximize impact in this space. The DTech Awards aims to find, fund, and support technology solutions which aim to protect and save lives before, during, or after natural disasters. So we have a really exciting agenda lined up for everyone here today. Just to give you an idea, this is what we have in store. So we'll be having an opening address from our strategic partners from Prudence Foundation, AWS, as well as UNDRR. Afterwards, we'll be having our finalist spotlight. So we'll be hearing from two inspiring past finalists of the DTech Awards, Living Water Systems and Bike Scouts. Afterwards, you'll be able to learn more about the DTech Awards, where we'll go over what's new this year and how you can participate. And then we'll also help you go through the application guidelines, basically a step-by-step walkthrough to ensure you submit a strong application. After this, we'll be having our live Q&A. So once again, don't forget to ask your questions. You can submit them in our chat box or wait for our Q&A later to raise your hand and ask a question live. Okay, first up, let's hear from Nicole Miao, Director at Prudence Foundation. Over to you, Nicole.
Thank you, Cheska. And I'm sorry if you hear this announcement because my building has just activated a fire alarm. But very quickly, I hope you can still hear me. Prudence Foundation, we are a corporate foundation of Prudential across Asia and Africa. And Prudential is one of the largest life and health insurance companies. We have, since our inception 12 years ago, we have been focusing in disaster risk reduction with various initiatives and partnering with NGO partners, communities, and government. And I'm very pleased to launch the latest DTech Awards for 2025 and create a platform to spotlight on the innovative solutions that can save life. And recognizing that, my background is very noisy, so I wouldn't take more time, but just before I end, just wanted to say a big thank you to all our like-minded organizations in supporting this event and the award, namely UNDRR, AWS, and XOE27, and IFRC. Over back to you. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you, Nicole. Thanks for setting the stage for us. Next, we have Wei Pan, Head of Public Sector Industry Partners at AWS Asia Pacific and Japan. She'll be talking about AWS's commitment for the DTech Awards. Wei, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. Really happy to be here. I'm just going to take a quick moment to share my screen. Are you able to see my screen, Cheska?
Yes, yeah, we can see
Okay,
it.
great. So again, hi, everyone. My name is Pui Pan. I lead public sector industry partnerships for AWS in Asia Pacific and Japan. I've been with AWS for almost 10 years. And over my career, I've observed many instances of technology saving lives. And that's why AWS is committed to helping communities prepare for, respond to, and recover from disasters, and why we're so proud to be a strategic partner of the Safe Steps DTech Awards 2025. Disasters often strike without warning, and when they do, speed and coordination are critical. So at AWS, we bring together global logistics, technology, and partnerships to support disaster response efforts at scale. We have supported more than 186 disasters worldwide and donated more than 25 million items since 2017. We have also strategically placed 14 disaster relief hubs in the US, Asia, and Australia to deploy aid quickly. But disaster response isn't just about delivering aid. It's also about empowering organizations to act swiftly and effectively, and that's where AWS comes in. AWS supports disaster response efforts by providing scalable cloud technology with a focus on, number one, rebuilding connectivity. AWS deploys volunteers and cloud resources to restore communications and data access for emergency responders. Number two, disaster mapping. By leveraging cloud-based drone assessments, organizations can conduct rapid damage assessments, even in areas without internet access, saving weeks compared to traditional methods. And number three is building applications for good. We work with technology partners to develop and scale innovative solutions that improve preparedness, response, and recovery. And it is this final piece, working with technology partners, that is especially critical and exciting to me. Because strong partnerships are at the heart of what we do at AWS. To take this a step further, we launched the AWS Public Safety Competency, which is a program that highlights partners with proven capabilities in emergency management operations, public safety, data and analytics, infrastructure resilience and recovery, and emergency communications. And one of these AWS Public Safety Competency partners is HERE Technologies. It's a global leader in mapping and location-based solutions. One of their customers, Logis, enable emergency medical services providers across Europe, the Americas, Australia, and New Zealand to optimize ambulance dispatch. And their solution, powered by AWS and HERE Technologies, enables real-time visibility of ambulance locations and incidents through AWS-hosted mobile SDKs, automatic dispatching of the nearest available emergency vehicle, and optimized routing, ensuring that ambulances reach patients as quickly as possible. And that's what technology for disaster response looks like. And through the Safe Steps DTech Awards, we hope to uncover even more groundbreaking innovations that will redefine how we prepare for and respond to disasters. So join us in making a difference. I encourage all of you to take this opportunity to be part of the solution. Apply for the DTEC Awards, leverage AWS to build scalable life-saving innovations, and join a global network of change makers in disaster response. Together, let's innovate, protect communities, and save lives. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Faye. All right. I'm sure all our startups are excited. We have another guest speaker with us today. So we're honored to have Marco Toscano Rivalta, Chief of UNDRR ROAP, who will share about UNDRR's commitment for the DTEC Awards. Marco, please take the stage.
Thank you. Thank you, Francesca. I hope you can see me. And I'd like also to thank Nicole and Wei for your remarks. Actually, Nicole, I think your remarks were really telling in and of themselves, in the sense of a real time and real life demonstrations on how drills and early warning systems are really important and is an important mix of human behaviors and technology. So I think that the moment couldn't have been more of a serendipity type. But let me thank you for having us here. I think is great. I really want to commend all the partners, organizers, the Prudence, AWS, the E27, and also the IFRC. For us, it's really a privilege to be part of this launch and these initiatives that is fundamentally aimed at increasing the resilience of business, peoples, communities, and the private sector. And we know that there is an inherent link between the thriving of communities and the thriving of business at the local level. And I think that is really great because today the fundamental purpose is really to shine the spotlight on visionary entrepreneurs, dynamic startups, forward-thinking people, and leaders and future leaders in the private sector that are really determined and aimed at revolutionizing how we predict, prevent, and respond to disasters. The UN Office for Disaster Risk Reductions, which I represent, you may not know it, is probably we're not as famous as Amazon or the IFRC or Prudence and other partners, but is the UN office that is really the focal point in the UN system for advancing disaster resilience and prevention. And we are the custodian, so-called, of the Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reductions, which is a global agreement that was reached in 2015 together with the Paris Agreement and the Sustainable Development Goals. And the Sendai Framework is fundamentally the roadmap, the global roadmap for the increasing resilience, but also for increasing collaborations among many stakeholders, public sector, private sector, but also civil society, science, academia, and many others. So one thing that I want to stress is that in 2023, we had the midterm review of the Sendai framework. And what emerged is that the private sector fundamentally, apart from some exceptions, still does not see, and I stress does not see, disaster risk reduction as prevention as their business, and with the high expectations and heavy reliance on the government and the public sector to take care of it. So I would really like to say that what you're doing, what you have been doing, indeed, is super important. This initiative is really important because you are making a huge difference, not only in reducing disaster risk, but also in transforming the approach of the private sector toward resilience and preventions. And I really want to commend you for this and the future entrepreneurs that will be part of these initiatives. And in the Asia Pacific region, I think that this is particularly important because we know that disasters are increasing in intensity and frequency due to climate. But at the same time, we shouldn't forget there are also other types of other geological attack and beyond. We know that the Asia Pacific region is the most disaster-prone region in the world, yet at the same time, it's probably the most vibrant with an incredible power for innovation. And this clearly emerged also in the Asia Pacific Ministerial Conference for Disaster Risk Reductions, which was currently hosted by the government of the Philippines in October 2024, which clearly stressed that it's important to take bold and transformative actions to strengthen disaster resilience with whole of society approaches. And this has at the core also the private sector. Innovation is at the core of transformation. Startups and the private sector therefore really play a fundamental role in bringing agility, creativity, cutting edge technologies, and other approaches that actually disrupt, if I can use this word, the traditional approaches which are not probably yielding the results that we aim. In fact, whereas in 2015 we agreed to reduce disaster risk and losses, what is happening is that by 2030, which is the end of the Sendai framework, disaster will have increased by 40%. So instead of decreasing, they are increasing. And therefore, the importance of disrupting traditional practices and bringing a strong core of innovation. But it's not just about technology, which is super important, and we can see the importance of blockchain or the application of artificial intelligence to prevention, response, and recovery. But most fundamentally, this technology must be accessible, inclusive. In fact, the core element of disaster risk reduction, it has to be people-centered. We know, we heard it very, very often, but what in practice it means is that solutions really need to look and have the human being, the way we behave, the way we are, with all our differences at the core of it, so that the measures that are taken are really tailored and enable persons and communities to take the necessary steps to be more resilient and prepared for a future which is clearly challenging. So whereas on one side we need technology to better understand the hazards, and this is great happening, we also need technology and innovations to better understand the social dynamics of our societies, how we are moving, try to predict trends, and therefore then being able to really take those measures that strengthen the resilience and prepare individuals to really take their lives in their own hands and make informed choices of what needs to be done. And I'm stressing this question of individuals because fundamentally localizing innovation is what is super, super important, because ultimately there are disaster risk reduction solutions. They really need to be tailored to local needs. And science is telling us that, for instance, climate variability is increasingly localized. So what is appropriate in one location may no longer be the same solution just 50, 100 kilometers away. So that is the importance of localizing science, localizing innovations to really capture the local realities, but at the same time also being able to include more individuals and to have them contribute to the expansion of knowledge and disaster risk reduction measures. There are a few areas where I think you can be of super importance. One is, for instance, the application of the Bangkok Principles, which were basically aimed at implementing the health aspect of the Sendai framework. So your contributions in looking how this can be scaled up would be very important. Or the contributing to the implementation of the global call by the UN Secretary General for early warning system for all by 2027, or even the latest call on addressing and scaling up actions on extreme heat, because we know that both early warning and a better understanding of the impact of extreme heat can not only save lives, but also have communities and economies to be healthier and safer. Finally, the importance of localization is really about strengthening and revolutionizing the way in which we are developing the built environment. So that is, again, where technology, innovations, a better understanding on how we as humans are making our societies evolve become very, very important, and how we design the infrastructure, how we design our way of living. I think, and I want to conclude here, that the DTech Awards is really a catalyst for these missions, and I'm very, very thankful for all of you who have initiated this very important work. I really encourage an incredible amount of people and future entrepreneurs and current entrepreneurs to apply, to show that there is a way forward despite the challenge that we have ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Marco, for sharing that with our audience today. I hope that really inspires our audience to go ahead and apply for the DTech Awards today. For anyone who's also interested in applying already, you can see, I think here, the QR code. So you can actually scan that QR code and it will lead you directly to our application form. Now, let's turn the spotlight on two incredible DTech Awards past finalists who are already making waves with their solutions. They will be sharing about their journey through the awards and how it has scaled their impact. First, we have Joshua Cow, founder and CEO of Living Water Systems. Before we pass the stage to Joshua, I think Joshua wanted to share a video. Are you able to? Yes, we can see it. We can see your screen.
Helping deliver humanitarian aid with a nonprofit I co-founded in Venezuela, I've witnessed a recurrent sight. People collecting water from leaky pipelines, women and children waiting in lines to fill containers with water from rivers and fountains. A quarter of the world lacks access to potable water, mostly due to inadequate infrastructure. NGOs and governments spend billions of dollars a year on this issue, but sadly, the money gets lost in bottlenecks due to ineffective methods. This is why at Living Waters, we decided to step in.
Our solution to this comes in the form of a proprietary portable rainwater harvesting system. Rainwater is the cleanest source of naturally occurring water, and our unit is specifically designed to be outfitted over the relief tents that millions of people in camps are living in today. It works like permanent structures as well, weighs less than 3 pounds, and is highly durable, making it perfect for disaster relief situations.
Our system is designed as a cost-saving solution that can revolutionize water and sanitation for major aid organizations and families in off-grid settlements. Our work in remote settings has provided us insight into how displaced women and children often spend hours a day traveling to and queuing in long lines for water, constantly getting sick from unsafe sources. Naturally purified rainwater at the doorstep allows vulnerable communities to focus on the next steps to recovery. We invite you to join us on our mission of transforming their lives by democratizing rainwater harvesting.
So, hi everyone. So that was a brief snapshot of our work. Thanks so much for the introduction, Francesca. So we're Living Water Systems. As you saw, we provide the world's first portable rain harvesting gutter units, expressly tailored for use in off-grid settlements where approximately 800 million people lack consistent access to clean water. We had the privilege of taking part in the latest DTech cohort where we were one of the prize winners, and the support we received from E27 and Safe Steps was absolutely invaluable for us to not only create a much upgraded version of our product, but also to fast track some of the implementation we've been doing in Northern Colombia. So I thought I'd share a couple of tips that I found helpful over the course of our own DTech experience, as well as quickly looking through the new application form. So one of the setup of the application is mainly a few text boxes, and it also gives you the option to input a pitch video and a pitch deck. And I would strongly advise against overlooking that aspect, because ultimately DTech, after the support that E27 and the team gives you, it culminates into a pitch competition. So the first thing I'd recommend, and this sounds obvious, but and probably is to many of you, but it was a major distinction from when I competed is to script your presentation. So one of the things I noticed from the DTech core, the initial screening round, was that a lot of teams that wrote a fully fleshed out script were able to advance, whereas other teams that didn't fully write out their presentation ultimately came up short. What I typically use is a very simple like film script like format where I include the pitch dialogue as well as slide changes and more subtle adjustments. So doing this will save you a lot of time and allow you to cover over a lot of different issues that come up later on in the process. So another thing I recommend is to really figure out your design. Personally, I use a combination of different applications like Adobe Creative Suite as well as PowerPoint and Blender. But one platform a lot of startup friends of mine use, and they say is a game changer for their startup, is something called Canva, Canva. This platform allows you to choose from a wide variety of different layouts. I personally have not used it, but many startups friends I know of have, and they say it's become a standardized option for designing your pitch. Finally, I found it very important to always watch and learn from other teams, like past pitch presentations of other social ventures. One program that we had the privilege of taking part in back in the day is called the Holt Prize Global Accelerator. And one of the some of the best pitches that I've seen of social ventures were done by teams who went through the Holt Prize. So I highly recommend looking at presentations like these, as well as, if they're available, former DTech presentations, which are outstanding as well. And always continue to practice. So whether it be in front of your friends or your family, always try to practice to really hone your pitch. So it's so once people review it, they know you're a contender that's able to go on further in the DTech process. So yeah, I hope this was helpful, and best of luck with your applications. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joshua. That was very insightful, and I'm sure all our future applicants would really take your tips to heart. Next, we have Miles Delphine, founder of Bike Scouts. Miles, please take it away.
Hello, everyone. I hope you guys can hear me. Let me share my deck. Okay. So, oops. I hope you can see this. So I'm the founder. I'm Miles. I'm the founder of Bike Scouts. We're based in the Philippines. We started in 2013, so we've been 11 years now in operation. And over the past 11 years, we've built a community of volunteers in the Philippines and beyond of around 100,000. So what we've been doing is that from the very beginning, we worked as volunteer bicycle messengers for disaster response. So the work that we do, in the beginning at least, was that we would provide an alternative means of access to communications, information, and essential supplies for people affected and isolated by severe disasters. So we started on the day that Typhoon Yolanda made landfall here in the Philippines in 2013. And 10 years on, we've been on the ground in almost all of the major disasters in the Philippines as volunteers and as a tech solution as well, which I will cover in a little bit. As of now, we are still the only continuously operating volunteer bicycle messenger service for disaster response in the world. So in 2021, because of our work, we were proudly included as a nonprofit finalist in the Safe Steps DTech Awards. Our community is still very, very proud of this achievement because we come from the Philippines. We started from zero. We are 100% genuine community-driven initiative. We don't have any funders. We don't have any, this is just people working with people to serve other people. And so we're very, very proud of this achievement. So this photo is actually from the airport in Tacloban when we deployed with our bicycles, and the people you see behind are some of the international responders, as well as some of the evacuees that we also helped get to the airport and onto the flights that would take them to safer places. So the benefit, this is really what I wanted to share with you guys, because this is really the aspiration for all of us. Again, coming from a project like Bike Scouts that started from zero, we had no connections, we had no network, and we just got really, really, really lucky to be a part of Prudence Foundation's program. And from there, we got invited to Singapore many, many times and became a part of the echelon, especially the Prudence Foundation Safe Steps Pavilion during one of the biggest echelon events in Singapore, and where I got to meet, of course, one of the co-founders of E27 and some of the very important people in the startup community. For example, Jay Fajardo, who is also from the Philippines, and most importantly, and this is something that I really, really wanted to share because this is something that if we can achieve it, all of you can achieve it. It doesn't matter where you're from or who you are. If we were able to do this, you can also achieve something like this. So with the help of Prudence Foundation and Safe Steps DTech Awards, we were featured by Deloitte Center for the Edge Southeast Asia as one of the drivers of innovation in our region because of our work in community and technology. And we were also featured in Tatler Asia, South China Morning Post. And just a few days ago, we got confirmation that we were nominated for the 2025 Earthshot Prize. So this is a very, very big deal for projects like us that are people-driven, that come from nothing, and just have a very, very inspiring goal to help the people in our own community. If we can do it, again, I cannot stress this enough. If we can do it, just keep pushing, sign up for this event, because this is where you will end up. I guarantee it. Don't worry, this guy in the picture was actually saved. He was rescued. But this is a very, very good example of the work that we do, because this photo was taken just last year, latter part of 2024, when 7 consecutive typhoons hit the Philippines, including 3 Category 5s. So Category 5s, 200 to 300 kilometers per hour winds, and so on. And in the Philippines, that also means severe flooding. During that time, there was no access to information because, of course, internet, mobile service, and everything else, they are first to fail when a disaster happens. And so what happened was that this guy and his family had nowhere to turn to. They didn't know who to ask for help from, as he was being overwhelmed by the flooding, and he was just clinging onto a coconut tree, basically. But luckily, there was a very small bike scouts team in the area, and they basically coordinated this, not with traditional or large-scale rescue or help agencies, but just local action, people nearby, people in this man's own community. In fact, he was rescued by a boat owned by a relative, manned by people in his own community. So that is the power of community, and this is the reason why we have been building a community and a platform for social teamwork, that we call it. In the Philippines, we call it bayanihan, which basically means just people in their own community helping each other. And this is what it can do. And this is why we are championing this, and this is why we strongly believe that there is a real reason, there's a real need to build a platform for what people can do, and that is our work. So now, what we've been doing ever since we started 11 years ago is that we've shifted towards, half of our work has become technology driven. And the reason for this is also partly because of our experience in the past 11 years, that there is absolutely no technology support for that actually works on the ground for people that are impacted, people and communities impacted by climate driven disasters. The first one that we built, and take note, we built this with no investors or funders. This is just really the work of engineers and others in our own community who contributed their work with no promise of return. We built our own AI and blockchain-enabled super app, which serves as a real-time and location-based disaster monitoring and reporting platform for our community and for the public. And to support this, we've also built our own mesh network so that there will be resilient connectivity to support the app. And of course, everything needs power and people need water to survive. And this is driven by our experience responding to disasters the past 11 years, including last year, where people just completely 100% lost access to clean water, something very, very basic. Clinics and provincial hospitals lost access to power to preserve the medication and supplies that they have. So we've built our own mesh network, and to support that, we've also built our own 6 kilowatt portable inverter off-grid solar power units that has a built-in water pump and filtration system. So the reason why we built this, because there is no real infrastructure for local community resilience. And we are hoping that this will be the start of the solution for that problem. The goal, at least starting in the Philippines, is that we will have an off-grid grid all over the Philippines. There will be connectivity through the mesh network. There will be reporting and monitoring collaboration through our app. And there will be a means for people to support all of this using the solar power trailer, which can be pre-positioned anywhere. And of course, again, thank you so much for listening in to the work that we do. Again, I'm Miles. I'm the founder of Bike Scouts, but now I'm also the co-founder in the technology component that we're working on called Super Scout. So once again, thank you. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, and I hope to hear from you guys. Good luck.
Thank you so much, Miles. So we have such inspiring sharing sessions from both our finalists, and there are actually a lot more startups out there. And if you're part of the DTech Awards, you'll also be able to meet all these other startups that are in disaster tech. So it's really about building a community. So this is exactly what the DTech Awards is all about. So we want to empower solutions that create real world impact. Okay, now that we've seen the kind of impact-driven solutions that we celebrate, let's talk about how you can be part of this year's DTech Awards. For those that are new to the program, DTech, short for disaster technology, is all about using new or existing technology in innovative ways to improve resilience against natural disasters. This year, we are focusing on two critical challenge statements. The first one will be on climate and health. Climate change is driving an increase in health crisis from disease outbreaks to extreme weather-related health impacts, highlighting the urgent need for scalable resilient solutions. Communities and healthcare systems need innovative ways to predict, prepare for, and respond to these challenges while addressing their long-term consequences. How can we develop technologies to safeguard public health and enhance healthcare delivery amidst environmental disruptions? For this challenge, we're looking for technology solutions that safeguard public health and enhance healthcare delivery amidst environmental disruptions. So if your technology addresses climate-driven health risks, we strongly encourage you to apply for the DTech Awards this year. The Climate and Health Challenge focuses on how technology can help mitigate the health impacts of climate change and disasters. But health is just one piece of the puzzle. The increasing severity and frequency of disasters also call for smarter, more integrated approaches to preparedness, response, and recovery. So this brings us to our second challenge statement, which is smart resilience. While technology holds promise, many communities struggle to adopt solutions that effectively harness predictive analytics and real-time coordination. For this challenge, we're looking for solutions that empower governments, responders, and citizens to build more resilient, adaptive disaster management systems. By leveraging technology, we can make disaster response faster, smarter, as well as more effective. So if your solution fits within this space, we also encourage you to apply for the DTech Awards. Now that we've explored the challenge statements and the kind of impact-driven solutions we're looking for, let's talk about what's in store for those who take on this challenge. The DTech Awards 2025 offers not just funding, but also unparalleled exposure and support. The winners in both challenge statements, climate health and smart resilience, will receive 35,000 US dollars for first place, 25,000 US dollars for second place, and 50,000 US dollars for third place. Just for a bit of transparency, these numbers are yet to be finalized in the safestepsdtech.com website, but you should be able to see that this week. So finalists will also receive 3,000 US dollars travel subsidy per company, an exclusive booth, and live pitching opportunity at Echelon Singapore 2025. Finalists will also receive AWS cloud technology support. So beyond these prizes, participants will also benefit from media production and coverage, mentorship, and networking opportunities, giving them visibility and the resources needed to take their solutions to the next level. So please note that all these prizes, support, and recognition are all subject to the terms and conditions of our respective partners as well. So with these incredible prizes and opportunities up for grabs, timing is everything. So let's go over the key dates to keep in mind. The DTech Award applications deadline is in March 21, so be sure to submit your entry before then. In April, selected semifinalists will be announced and take part in virtual coaching and mentorship sessions to refine their solutions further. The virtual semifinals will be taking place on April 30. So this is where the top 3 finalists from each track will be shortlisted. And finally, the journey will be culminating at the in-person finals on June 11, where the best innovations will be showcased and winners will be announced. So make sure not to miss these key milestones. So if you want, you can take a screenshot of the screen right now, or you can also check the safestepsdtech.com website to see all the details on the DTech Awards. Now, let's see who can apply. The DTech Awards 2025 is open to any legally registered organization, whether for profit or nonprofit, from anywhere in the world. So you don't have to be a pure tech company. If you're using technology to scale your impact in disaster management, we also want to hear from you. However, keep in mind that proof of concept or POC solutions are not accepted. So your solution must be at least at the prototype stage. Additionally, applications must be submitted in English. So if you meet all of this criteria and have a solution that can drive real impact, we hope to hear from you. Beyond the prizes, this program is designed to accelerate your impact and give you the right platform, connections, and resources to scale your solution. As a semifinalist, you'll gain exclusive mentorship and networking opportunities with industry leaders, investors, as well as disaster resilience experts. Finalists will also get a spotlight on a global stage through exclusive pitching and media exposure, ensuring that your work reaches the right partners and decision makers. You'll also have access to funding and cash prizes to bring your innovation to the next level. So if you're looking for the resources, visibility, and support to grow your impact, the DTech Awards 2025 is your chance to make this happen. Let's go over how you can all submit a strong application for the DTech Awards 2025. So of course, when you go through our application form, once again, you can check the QR code here on my background. So you can scan that. So once you look at the application form, we'd like you to start by double checking your name, email, contact details, of course, as these will be used by our team for all the follow-ups. Next, you'll be selecting the challenge statement that best aligns with your solution. So this is either climate and health or smart resilience. Yes. And then when describing your innovation, we want you to clearly define the problem that you're addressing in simple yet impactful language. So highlight the unique value of your solution, as well as its potential real-world impact. And please take note of the character limit as well when writing your responses. All right, for next over here, please keep in mind that proof of concept solutions are not accepted, so your technology must be at least at the prototype stage. And also be sure to provide an accurate technology readiness level, or TRL. This is for us to assess your solution's readiness for implementation and match it with the right opportunities. You should outline your go-to-market strategy to demonstrate your solution's feasibility as well. We strongly recommend you to share a pitch deck or video to provide more insights into your solution. So ensure that the links are accessible. I think Joshua shared earlier that it would be really helpful for the team that will be judging all the startups if you can offer and share as much information as possible. So if you do have a pitch deck and video, do submit it here. All right. And whether you are bootstrapped or seeking additional funding, this will help us understand your current needs and capabilities, ensuring the right opportunities and resources can be matched to your stage of growth. And a strong application also demonstrates how your project addresses both immediate disaster resilience needs and long-term sustainability. So if you're ready to make an impact, and if you're excited to be part of the applications, these are now live in the safestepsdtech.com website. Yes. We know you might have some questions, so now is the perfect time. So if you have any questions, please drop it in the chat, or you can also raise your hand through Zoom, and we'll bring you on screen to ask your questions directly. Any questions from our audience? All right, maybe we'll give you a few more minutes to ask about this. But if we go to the next screen, Levine. Oh, I think Raven raised his hand. Raven, are you able to unmute? Okay, we have some questions here. How many team members are needed? Yes, sorry, was that Raven?
Yeah. Good morning.
Yes, hi Raven, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. I wasn't able to unmute because there was no option to unmute, but nevertheless, I was given the option. Thank you for the presentation. Just I have two questions or requests rather. For the first one, can we have a copy of the recording for this overview? And for the second one, I don't know if this has been already discussed or is this on the safestepsdetect.com website, but um is there a criteria or a metric for the what they call the screening of the shortlisted applicants, if there is such? Thank you.
Mhm. Yes, so we do have a judging criteria. So this is already in the website. This should be in our FAQ section. But just to run you through it, so the judging criteria are on disaster relevance and applicability. So this is the alignment of the solution with real-world disaster management challenges and its applicability in addressing specific phases such as preparedness, response, recovery, or prevention. Next, we have technology feasibility and readiness. So this is the practicality of the solution's technology for immediate deployment, its stage of deployment, whether prototype, pilot, or market ready, and its ability to function effectively under disaster conditions. Under our criteria as well is scalability. So this is the potential of the solution to expand its reach across different regions, disaster scenarios, or populations while maintaining efficiency and effectiveness. And then we have impact potential, or the ability of your solution to significantly reduce risks, save lives, or enhance recovery efforts in disaster-prone areas. And lastly, we have resilience and sustainability. So this is going to be your solution's ability to maintain performance during disasters and contribute to long-term disaster resilience while minimizing negative environmental or social impact.
Yeah.
Yes, so I think Levine has also shared that on the screen. I hope that answers your question. And with
Yes.
regard to the recording,
Yeah.
yes, we'll be sharing this with you after the event.
Thank you, Miss Francesca. And one more thing, are they all what do you call this? Have the same percentages? Say 20% for each one, or otherwise?
Levine, do we have this information already with regard to the percentage for the criteria?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I wasn't able to saw that. Yeah. Thank you.
Otherwise, this should be on the website, I think.
Uh, yeah, checking the website. I think.
Yes, all of them hold an equal percentage. So it's about 25% for each of them.
20% for each.
20%, sorry. Yeah, 20%. Yeah.
Okay. Copy. Thank you very much.
Thank
Looking
you,
forward.
Raven.
Thank you. Looking forward.
Okay, we have another question here. I think Levine, maybe you can help answer this. How will the TLR be assessed?
I think similar to the judging criteria that Cheska mentioned. Basically for the technology feasibility and readiness, we'll assess your how practical it is, how practical the solution is for deployment, which stage it's at, along with the score that you give for readiness and its ability to function effectively under disaster conditions. So basically these are what will be assessed to have like a overall score. We'll also consider your score for that question particularly. Mhm.
Thanks, Levine. And someone has also asked in the chat, how many team members are needed in the team?
Oh, sorry. Could you repeat it? That's okay.
Someone's asking how many team members are needed in the team. So I don't think
Oh,
yeah,
mhm.
there's no minimum or maximum number of team members for this.
Yeah, you just have to be a registered organization
Mhm.
to apply.
All right. Other questions we have is, will low to no tech solutions be considered and valued?
Low
Uh,
to- Mm, for this question, I would think if your solution is making an impact to contributing to disaster resilience, do apply and we'll evaluate accordingly to the judging criteria. Is definitely valued because any solutions are welcome as long as it contributes to any of the two challenge statements that we have. Yeah, hope that answers the question.
yes. I think Sibot has also raised his hand. Maybe you can help to unmute Naveen.
Okay. Um, Thibaut, I think you can unmute yourself. We can't hear you yet.
Okay, maybe while waiting for Thibaut to unmute, we can answer a few more questions. So someone has asked, how many submissions have you received since the awards first began? So we actually just launched the application form in the safestepsdtech.com website on February 3. So we have already gotten a few responses. I think we have about six startups who have already shown initial interest. So hopefully, more of you today will check out the application form. You can scan the QR code up here on the screen to take a look at the application form. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to our team, or you can also email me, Francesca at e27.co, if you have any inquiries about the applications. Okay, Vibot has mentioned that his question has been answered. All right. Thank you so much.
We do have a
Oh,
question
sorry,
on how,
Cameron.
yeah,
Okay. Cameron was wondering how many have applied over the entire history of the awards. We've had hundreds of startups apply already. I don't have an exact number, but definitely 100 to 200 startups that have submitted their applications for the DTech Awards over the years. Someone's also asking how many finalists will be announced. So we will be having 3 finalists for each track. So this is for climate health, as well as our second track.
Yeah, and just to chime
Yeah.
in, we will have 20 semi-finalists, so 10 for
Mm.
each track. So that would be announced first sometime in April, and then we'll announce 6 finalists, so 3 for each track, for the finals after the semi-finals pitching. Mhm.
Okay, do we have any more questions?
Oh, yes. Can we apply for both tracks? So the answer is no. We would prefer if you can pick a track that aligns with your solution the most. The reason for this is if you were to submit for both tracks, then you will have to, we will only consider the most recent application that you submit. So we only consider the track that you submit for that most recent application. Yeah. This to ensure fairness for all of the applicants. Okay, we do have another question from Raven. Beyond the top finalists, are there additional opportunities for semi-finalists such as mentorship, funding, connections, or partnerships with industry leaders, even if they don't make it to the final round? Oh, so for the semi-finalists, okay, one sec, let me just share my screen again. So if you look at the key dates over here, so basically, once we announce the semi-finalists, all the top 20 semi-finalists will go through a month long of coaching and mentorship sessions. We will definitely support with any partnerships, connections that you may have during this period of time. But of course, we'll try the best. We'll try our best, but this is not guaranteed. So with regards to host DTech Awards, we can definitely you can definitely reach out to us and we'll see how we can support you. So in addition to the semi finalists, especially for the semi finalists, we do actually have AWS cloud technology support for you. So this is also extended for the semi finalists. Hope that answers your question.
All right. We also have another question. Can previous winners apply? Yes, previous applicants can apply again as long as they are submitting a new or significantly improved solution. So when applying, you just have to demonstrate the substantial progress or innovation since your last participation. I hope that answers your question. Any more questions from our audience? All right. I think we've answered all the questions in the chat. So yes, let's start to wrap it up. So I hope you've all enjoyed this fantastic session, and we hope that today's launch has inspired you to take part in the Safe Steps DTech Awards 2025 and to be part of this incredible community of change makers. So a huge thank you once again to all our partners, Prudence Foundation, AWS, IFRC, and UNDRR for their support, and to our amazing past finalists as well for sharing their journey. So if you have any further questions, feel free to reach out to me at francesca@e27.co. And finally, if you're ready to accelerate your impact, we can't wait to see your application. So visit safestepsdtech.com and apply today. Thank you once again, everyone, for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again.